This is David. Welcome to my channel. That was a fun sound effect, but hey, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. This is David. Welcome to my channel. I'm very happy you are all here. Let me see. We've got people coming in already. Hi, Catherine. Well, great for you to catch it live now. Welcome. Hi, Sunny. Hello, Paula. Hi, Robin. Hi, Astrid. Dimfna's here. Carla's here. Amanda. Hello, hello. Hi, Ellie. Hi, Hans. Hi, Petra. Hi, Erika. Hi, Andrea. Welcome, everybody. Good to see you. I'm really happy you're here. It's Tuesday, and we're going to have some fun. So let's do that. I'm in the meantime just looking everywhere with technical bits. Is it working? Yes, it's working. I forgot to switch on my camera, so that was my bad. This seems a bit weird, so let me check that. Oh, that's almost straight. There we go. That's all good now. So I'm gonna have some fun. I've got different things that I'm gonna do today, and I felt like making a proper art journal spread. It's been a while, so I just want to play, get my fingers dirty, etc. Hi Femke, hi Cindy. Live is always better than watching back, right? Hi Patricia. Hi Katie. Hi. So yeah, we're gonna have some fun today. So let's switch the cameras around and I'll just get started and explain what I'm going to do and talk you through it. If you hear some barking, Daniel's just out to get some groceries, and the dogs, I don't know, they heard something and they go crazy. So if you hear barking, it's the puppies. So what I've got here is my journal. Surprise, surprise. I'll get to you guys in a minute. Go away. So this is a journal I made a couple of lives ago, using my Build a Journal set, and this is a page I made during that same video with these tags to go in there. I took them out because I'm going to be working on this side, and I don't want to use matte layers. I'm going to work directly on the paper, and what I've already done to save some time is to, I don't know if you can hear that, it's like ASMR. I've put a thin layer of watered down gesso on it. So that's what we're going to work on. One reason for that is that these were two different sorts of papers. Now it's got the same feel, and I wanted to tone it back a bit so the colors that I put on there pop, but I did want to keep the structure of the paper, the texture that's in there. So yeah, that's why I sort of, hi Susanna. Hi Jennifer. Sorry, I'm distracted by the comments. I wanted the same feel, and I wanted to have a background that I could work on with space and water and stuff. And since this is paper, you need to protect it. But I didn't want a clear gesso for that. I wanted this. So that's what I did. Different things I want to do. It's obviously fall, and I've got these beautiful leaves in my street that were speaking to me, and I was walking the dogs with Els, and she said, bring them. And there's almost a gold sheen on them. I don't know if the camera will pick that up. So what I'm doing is, it's fairly simple. Well, let's do it. I'm just going to do it. I know Els did a ton of these already, but I'm just going to show you. So I've got a big roll of the Elizabeth Craft Designs double-sided adhesive here. So put that on there. I'm going to flip that over. Thanks, Belinda. Hi, Ivor. Good to see you. That's not my paper cutter. So yeah, Els was here last week, last Saturday. That was fun. We had a blast. For the people that were in that class, that was hilarious. What paper? This is just plain copy paper, just plain white copy paper. So, just varnishing that on there. And I'm going to peel the backing off. Now, I say this every time, but keep your backing. It's perfect to create your own stencils, what I did, I'm going to show you in a minute, but also backgrounds for when you do dirty work. So, you can do it two ways. You can stick the leaf on like that, or what I'm going to do is flip them over because I want the veins to be visible. So, I'm going to put as much on there as I possibly can, press it down from the middle, and it'll crack and it will probably break at some point, but I don't care. So that is on there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the release sheet back on there. And I'm just going to cut this bit off so it doesn't stick to my die cutting machine, and trim off a bit here as well. Just to make sure this doesn't stick to my die cutting machine. Okay, so that's that. Now I'm going to take my die cutting machine and I'm going to use, I've got an A4 plate, so I'm going to use that. Otherwise you've got to run it through twice. Doesn't really matter. It is, right? Such a cool... Well, we don't have many of these big leaves. So I was happy to find them. But you can do it with smaller leaves as well. The technique is the same. Oh, that's lovely, Sonny. So... And look, now it's all nice and flat. Cool, right? So I'm going to put this to the side for now, because I need the plates again in a second. So let's do this like that. So I've got this one to play with, and I've already prepared two others. This is the one I made earlier, where I just combined all these different leaves, and I'm going to take some gold embossing powder. I'm going to sprinkle that on here. So let me do that before I forget. I'm trying to think of what kind I want, but I found it. So I've got the Metallic Gold Rich Ultra High. The sticky stuff is from Elizabeth Craft Designs. That's a big roll of double-sided adhesive. And I just put that onto some white copier paper. So I'm just gonna dump this on here. Push it in, just like that. Because the double-sided adhesive from Elizabeth Craft Designs is heat stable, which is really cool. I'm making a mess, but I don't mind. So there's a little bit here. Okay, that's enough. I'm not going to be bothered with this bit. There's my top. So I'm going to melt that, but you got to be careful when melting because you don't want to burn your leaves. You don't want to start a fire. So oh, absolutely, it's fantastic stuff, the Elizabeth Craft Designs double-sided adhesive. Love this. Love that effect. So, that is ready to go. So let's start cutting some things out. And what I want to cut out is fairly simple. I'm going to use the leaves from my 4 leaves set. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one and I'm just going to line this up where I get the veins. So like that and like that and this one. Then I'm going to place this one back over. Ooh, I need to tape this down because that doesn't work like I wanted it to. I just wanted to stay in place. Now, this is by all means her technique, not mine. But she showed it to me when she was here Saturday, and I just thought, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm just trying to line this up. I'm just going to trim this bit off. Because, well, I don't need that. There we go. So now I'm going to run this through my die cutter. And it will look fantastic. Oh, they're perfect for shrink plastic. We did that in Banff as well, Belinda. It was gorgeous. Still a bit stuck to my plate, but there we go. That's sorted it. Now let's have a look. Let's peel this one off. Get these out. And they've cut perfectly, so that's good. So let's see where we are. Just cleaning up as I go. Here's the first one. Oh, look at that. I want to say it looks like real leaves, but it is. How cool is that? Look at that. This is so fun. You see that? How gorgeous is that? So I'm just going to poke all these little things out and we're going to go again. So I don't want to waste anything, and I need quite a lot of leaves, I think. And if I don't use them now, I can use them in another project. So come on. It's the only downside of using the double-sided adhesive. You just gotta spend some time taking it out because the edges of the cut might stick to that plate, but it comes out so easy. As I said, all credits go to Els. She thought of this. And it stays like that. She's got some in journals from years ago. And it just stays like this. It works. Which I thought was absolutely brilliant. So I'm going to use this one now. I need to place you there because you're big boy. You're a big boy. You can go there. And And the third one can go. That one does not quite fit, but then I won't have the vein in the middle. I don't mind, because I think it looks fantastic anyway. Hey Anita, good to see you. How can I have lost already one leaf? Oh, here it is. Oh, it's called falling leaves, right? Just putting this here. Run this through. Stuck to my plate. There we go. There we go. Now I'm not going to use these leftovers. I mean, I'm not going to be bothered with that. So I'm going to throw that in the bin so it doesn't stick to me. So there's that one again. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And the last one. Look at that. I love this. It doesn't look like fun, it is fun. I think this is great. So, those are the leaves done. Put them back where they belong, David, before you lose them. You know yourself. Right, next I'm going to take this I might need some more embossing powder, but there's a spot there that's missing now. Can I press this one in? Maybe. We'll see. What I'm going to do, I'm going to cut a tag like this. So I'm just going to trim this down. I'm going to keep these two pieces, but this I'm going to run through my die cutter and see how it comes out. Yes, Femke, that's a challenge then, right? But it's really fun. Okay, let's run it through the die cutter. Isn't that a gorgeous tag? I just love it. Love, 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 love it. I just need... does this fit? Yep, that fits. I need something to put on the back of that because the back is now just ugly. So I'm going to cut another one and glue that one to the back. It's really fun to do, and yeah, if you make something, please post it in the Art Journal Specials group. It's for fun to see what you guys make of it. But hey, I love this. I absolutely love this. So there's some things still loose. I just rub that off. There we go. And this one will go on the back, and it will fit perfectly. So that's my tag nearly ready to go. It is playtime, Anita. This is really playtime. So I'm going to put these in a safe spot. Need them later, because now I'm going to work on my background. And for that I need my journal, which I just had and now can't find. And trust me, my room is not a mess. Got it. Right, first things first. And I got my inspiration for this from, I forgot her name. One of the ladies on the internet from Paper Artsy. Don't know her name anymore. Well, the funny thing is, Jennifer, they don't disintegrate. They stay as is. So it's weird, but they don't do that. So I'm not doing that because I think I love it the way it is now. So I don't want to do anything to it. But hey, no, you don't need to seal them. Els has got some in her journals from years ago, and they are perfect as they are. Right, this is hickory smoke. And what I'm going to do is just here at the top, I'm going to place some. This is ink. I'm just taking it right out of the tube, and then I'm going to spritz it with water and let that run a bit. And hickory smoke has this tendency to, how do you say that? There's sort of a warm purple coming through. And because I'm working on gesso, this also means it's gonna do something to the colors. You will see that in a minute when I start to work on the other with the colors. Oh, I have looked at Deborah. Deborah? Did I say that correctly? But I love the smokiness and darkness it gives here. So I'm going to do the same to this page. Just run it over there. I don't really want to spritz on here, so that's why I'm doing it like this. So it's a bit fiddly. You see how intense it looks at first, and the color gets, well, I wouldn't say eaten up, but softened by the gesso, even though the gesso is perfectly dry. Okay. Now I've put a bit of paper in between because I want to protect my pages that are underneath. Now the doggies are playing. Hi, Paula. They are really dry. So, drying again. I love how this looks. You still see the texture of the page through it. I really need to dry this now. And because of the gesso, you don't see it on the other side of the page, which is a benefit. These won't go anywhere. I've seen Elser things. These will stay as is. Okay, I said I had a stencil. I do, I promise. So I made a stencil out of a piece of release sheet that I'm going to use. I'm going to use the smaller ones, I think, because, well, we'll see. So I've got 3 colors here: vintage photo, rusty hinge, vintage photo, and scorched timber. I'm going to start, this is not the right brush, with some rusty hinge. Now, of course, this is not as firm as a normal stencil, so yeah, you gotta softly do this. This is fun. Small one. Small one here. So that's that one. I love that, overlapping that pocket. So that's the ones with rusty hinge. Now I'm just going to spritz that a bit because I want that to soften up and be less perfect. So next I'm going to move to vintage photo. And I'm not going to change brush, it's a darker variation of the color. So just overlapping a bit. There we go. You see that? It's a bit darker. So I'm just going to continue building up my background like this. So, how is everybody doing? Well, you can see it happening here. The gesso eats up the color a bit. Remember when when people ask me what paste to use, I like to use non-gesso based because of the gesso taking the color. There you go. That's a really nice example. But oh, thanks, Hans. Now I'm using that to my advantage because it really makes it blend into the background. Because I'm still working on the background, mind you. I just want one more here. Marigold is a beautiful color as well. I agree. So, again, I'm going to spritz this because I want this to be softer. And then I'm going to go back to this one, for instance. Then I'm going to take my dauber, because I already have my scorched timber on my dauber. And with the dauber I can be a bit more precise. And I can just say, okay, just a bit here to darken that up. And a bit here to darken that edge up a bit. Love that. Love, love, love it. This one can use a bit more definition. It's a bit orangey now. That's fun. Maybe just one or two. Scorched timber ones. No, I don't want to do red. I want this to be very soft in the background because the leaves don't have red. So I don't want this to take over from the leaves. Does that make sense? Just this little corner here. There we go. Right, I'm going to spritz that again. Let that water do its thing. Now it's not an oxide, so it will not oxidate, but it will move the ink a bit. It will make it look a bit more grungy. You see that on that scorched timber? You see it pearls up a bit. That's what I want. So I'm going to let this do its thing. But I think these can go now. Yes. Just because now the wet work is done. So let me see if I can find my little... doesn't really matter. Where did I put them? Here. I'm going to do some stamping with these skeleton leaves. I'm going to take them both, grab a block, two blocks actually, there we go, and we're going to build up layers in there. So I'm going to start with the lightest color, sand dune. Just gonna stamp that there. It's not doing much, but hey. It would, wouldn't it, Robin? Let me dry this. That would definitely help. But I love where this is going. think the stamping will be better when the paper is dry, right? And these are not perfect because there's obviously stuff in the back, but it doesn't have to be. It's all about building the layers. I will do a close-up so you can see. You see, it is there. The texture is there. I'm trying to see if I missed any questions. Well, Sunny, the water, our paper is really good quality anyway, so it holds up to water very well. But in this case, it holds up that well because of the gesso I put on there. So Belinda is absolutely right there. So that's it for the big leaves, because I don't want these to take over. I just wanted to add to the background. Next I'm coming in with Portobello, which is a bit darker. I'm just gonna stamp those like so. I like that. I like that it has a certain flow. So these are way more visible. Next, I'm going to ink the edges, because that will help me when I make my composition of the rest of the page. So that's going to be some inking, but bear with me, because it's worth it. I still feel the paper is a bit damp, because it needs time to dry. Thank you, Paula. I think this is turning out great. I'm happy. There we go. Love that. Okay. I want to do some splattering. Just in the background. And some vintage photo. There we go. Just gonna spritz that again. You see, the minute I wet it, it's gonna wick out. So then I'm gonna dry it. The gesso I used, that was Liquitex Acrylic Mediums gesso. You can use any gesso, but I like this one. Yeah, VersaFine is made by Tsukineko. I love VersaFine for stamping. I love Distress for blending and for techniques. So where I think it's too dark, I'm just dabbing it off because it's on there now. See that? There we go. So now we can start to build our page. Now, the idea I had, this is one of the pictures from my paperback, from the Backgrounds Volume 3, and I just fussy cut him out. I like him here. And I have a picture of a little boy that is going to be here. And then I've got some cheesecloth that I'm going to use. Let me just cut that. So I'm going to use that here, I think. Yes, I like that. That was actually this one, Deborah. Texture Paste Opaque Matte by Ranger. We actually use both. We also use the transparent gloss. So these are the ones we use there. I just had two little phrases, and I know they're here somewhere. Just need to find them. Just let me grab my leaves. And this one we need. Here they are. I'm going to ink up the edge of this one. So that's sort of the idea for there. Ink this one. Yeah, sorry, Sonny. We are enablers. I know that. So I'm just building up my page now from what I think would be nice. I like that because this is going to go in here and will be quite dominant there. So I will just slide that in. It's not done yet, but I will slide it in just for my vision. And then you're going to go there. And I like you there. What do we think of this as a composition? I love it. I'll just wait. I think it's fine. I've got one leaf left, but that would be too much, I think. So, while you guys are coming back to me, I think this composition is gorgeous. I'm also going to ink the edges of my leaves, just because there's white, and you know I can't stand that. But I think it's also pretty. So there's an added benefit to that. Now I'm just going to place this back, because then I'm going to take a picture of this so I know what I did. Just so bear with me, I've got my phone here. There we go. It's always good to, once you have a composition ready to go, Looks great. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Just gonna ink these edges real quick, but it does make a difference, I think. Oh yeah, you can color cheesecloth perfectly with distress inks. That's really fun to do as well. In this case I want it white because I want the freshness. So, okay, let's start with you. I think what I'm going to do as well, I think that's fun. I'm going to make this and staple that as a little cluster together. Like that. Oh, I love that. The sentiments are from my paper pack. Sorry, I had to go to the floor. On the back side of the cover, the backgrounds volume 3, there are these sentiments. So yes, I made them actually because I designed them, but yeah, they're easy just to cut out. So glue that down. Just put enough glue there to make it stick. And I forgot to ink him. Not a really disaster, but there we go. There we go. Place you there. Well, yes. I love using staples in my journal. That's still okay. Love that. Love, 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 love that. Okay, now I'm going to do the same here because I like the staple. So let me just do it like that. Now, I'm going to try to do it the same. So yeah, this background volume 3 is really, well, I wouldn't say a must-have because, well, I can't speak for everybody, but for me, definitely a must-have. So I'm just using some glue to stick this bit down, and then I go to my leaves and glue those down. Yeah, you can use gauze. I know Hobby Vision sells cheesecloth. I saw it there. Doing doesn't. There we go. This one. Just tear this off. Makes it easier to tuck it under there. I'm not gonna need that anyway. I need to finish my tag. So I'm going to put some glue on here. Just line these two up. Yeah, it's not that easy here, but we can find it. Just ink the edge so the white is not showing. Then I need the topper, and I'm just going to use some craft because I think craft is pretty with this. So let me run that through. I haven't disappeared, guys. I'm just looking for something. Just got an idea. Now, of course, when you get an idea, you need to try it, right? At least that's how I work. That's how my pea brain works. Dum, 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 dum. There we go. Beautiful tag, right? Beautiful tag. I like it. I'm looking for correct color of I'm trying to switch off my sound, which is annoying because I did that like 3 times now. I do like this pop of red over there, so let's just do that. So putting that through. Like so. Pretty. And then what I'm going to do, because I don't want this all sticking out, I'm just going to tie that in a bow. There we go. Trim these off. And for now I'm just going to put this in as a decorative element because I sort of like it. I don't think this page needs a lot more. I'm just having a look now, but I do think I'm ready. I think so. I do want to do a bit, tiny bit, just a little bit of splattering. Ooh, there we go. That's a blob. This is some Amsterdam ink. Yeah, it needs some gold. That's what I'm doing. Just some gold splatters. There we go. That's it. Walk away from the paper, David. How did we get to a conversation about Blocker? Well, it's a good thing you like a floppy bow, because that's the only bow I can do. I'm horrible at tying bows. But it's my journal. I can do what I want, right? So, here we go. That's it, guys. This is the final result. And I do think that gold splatter just lifted it. There we go. Look at all that yumminess. So that's it for today. So if you like this video today, give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't done so yet, please join my, my loyal group of subscribers. I'm thrilled to have them all. And I'm very grateful that they're all here. So thank you for watching again. And I hope you had a blast. And I loved having you here. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you Thursday afternoon, 4 o'clock Dutch time, and that's 8 a.m. Mountain Time, 8 a.m. Mountain Time in the US for Coffee and Craft at Elizabeth Craft Designs. So that's going to be fun. Thursday evening there will be a fun video because I'm working in my memory keeping journal there. Because Femke, you asked, will we see you working in it? Watch that video Thursday, and then next Tuesday I'll be live again. So I'll see you then. Bye!